a dumbbell hip thrust with a pulse, you're going to be doing a normal dumbbell hip thrust, but then adding an extra lockout phase. So you'll be relaxing out of the lockout position and then immediately re-entering the lockout position before you lower back to the floor. So you're going to start off with your shoulders on an elevation, usually 12 to 14 inches in height. If you need to use a taller bench for this, you can always shimmy up the bench a little bit so that your lower shoulder blades are lined up with that edge, and just make sure that it's stable so it's not going to slip. And then whenever you set your feet up, you want your feet to be about a hip's width wide is usually good. Turn the toes out slightly. Have your feet close enough so that whenever you lift, your shins end up perpendicular to the floor. So we don't want to be too far out because that's going to be more emphasis on the hamstrings. And you don't want to be too far in because that ends up being too much emphasis on the quads. Okay, so perpendicular to the floor. We're going to start from here. Lift the hips up, reach that full lockout position. Hips are tucked. I'm not overarching through the spine because that is not the point of the exercise. We're not trying to get as high as possible. Instead, we're trying to reach the position where we're about in a straight line from the knees to the hips to the shoulders, but the glutes are tucked and clenched really hard. And then we're going to relax out of that position for a moment and then re-enter that position. So this one's a great one to work on where your actual lockout position is. Okay, so you'll do just like that, and make sure that you don't drop down too far on each pulse. It's not a 1.5 or a 1 1/4 rep. It's just 1 rep and then a small pulse at the top before returning back to the floor.